Good evening, everybody. You got Kody Ashmore, Director of Weekly Option Strategies, obviously here at Simpler Trading, bringing you tonight's options free video. And in this video, I want to talk to you all about stalking our setup in Netflix, and we could chill out and watch Netflix as we wait for it. I don't know. I was trying to think of some clever way of saying Netflix and chill while trading, but it wasn't quite coming to me. But let's go ahead and break it down. All right, so Netflix first. It had earnings, did gap down, and it's holding in pretty well. So whenever there's a big gap down in something that relatively has been trending higher, I ask myself a few things. First, I say, what does the weekly chart look like? So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the weekly time frame. And here I do have David Stars of Voodoo lines, and you see that since this huge gap down that occurred, we went sideways, kind of rallied up, closed the gap, and then it's been going sideways since. But you can see since their earnings announcement and price just dropped down to this snow line and also the weekly 21 EMA and the weekly 34 EMAs are below. You can see how they're stacked positive. So you can see basically long term trend is going higher. All right, cool. From here, what do I want to do? I ask myself, okay, are we at we'll say a level of demand? Like, is this a support level? However you wish to word it, supply, demand, a level, it really doesn't matter. It's all the same. You need to ask yourself, is it a position or location of interest? Me personally, I like to use volume profile to find these certain levels. Go ahead and pull up Netflix right here. And this is my 4-hour chart with my monthly volume profiles, and the blue lines are the point of control. A point of control is the level in which where the most amount of volume has transacted at that specific price. Kind of like right here for 2 months, you can see the most volume transacted at basically we call it 285. Got a big move up, and you see how it goes back and forth, right? Look, we're up here, we came down, and look to the left, back to this 2-month level of demand, and then moved back up. Now from here, we are moving lower. So now what? What I do want to point you to is, for one, I do have a 90-day volume profile right here, and that the point of control for these 90 days is right where we're at. And also, all I want to do is, actually, I'll do this. Let me get here. So I want to encompass. What I want to do is, you see this node here, and then there is this 3-month node and a little bit of a node down here. All I'm going to do is draw a line across, encompassing those levels. All right, so right here, you can see that volume was respected here, volume happened here. Then we go across, look, another big node, and look, that is right where we're at. And it's also right here. Here's the 90-day point of control. The 90-day point of control exact number is actually we'll call it 327. That is like literally where we're at. And we also came down to the weekly point of control, or we claimed anyways. We came down to this volume level and have spiked up above it. Now from here, actually, I may not even specified it. What I'm looking at here is basically, so we're at a level in which I'm looking for buyers to step in. And the easiest way to explain it, this is the level to look at. All right, cool. But that's not enough for us to want to get into the position. There is still some work to do. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pull up, not that chart, and this chart. And actually, I'm going to minimize that one because it takes a little bit of data. All right, next is here. Okay, so from here, this is anchored VWOP. So the way I use this, so we have a level on which we're looking for buyers to step into control, and then we have an anchored VWOP from this swing low, an anchored VWOP from this swing low, and a year-to-date anchored VWOP. In a nutshell, all you really need to know is they are all right on top right here, right? Okay. So from this swing to this swing and this swing, who's feeling the most pain? Right now, the sellers are in control because this takes the average of buying and selling and lines it out on your chart. So this is letting us know basically 330, let's see, yeah, we'll call it 332, is a level in which we'll have to acknowledge that the buyers are back in control, because that is above all these anchored VWAPs. One other thing worth noting is I have an anchored VWAP from this swing low, and that's right where we're at right now. So now taking a step back, now that I've talked about volume profile and the anchored VWOPs at various points, in a nutshell, if this is a big level of volume, we'll call volume-based support. So I'll put V, just VPOC for volume point of control, right? Boom, for about 3 months worth, right? Now, if the price can get above basically 332, you can say that this level of support is going to hold. And now who's in charge or who's in control? The buyers from this level, the buyers from this level, and the buyers from this level. Cool, but that's one way to do it. And another thing is I like to tie that into another setup. Close above these. One way you can trade this is you can wait till it closes above 332, stop at the lows, and really you can just ride it until it changes. One other thing that I'm personally going to be waiting for is waiting for. All right, sorry about that. But one other thing that I'm going to add to it is the squeeze. Like the squeeze is a very common setup that is very beneficial as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put my multi-time frame squeezes here. So I have my weeklies, my daily, and my 195 minute, which is basically 2 bars. So we'll just call it half days. So every 2 bars is a day. There's some work to be done first. So first, there is a weekly squeeze that is bullish. Definition of bullish is above 0. I will admit I don't like how these moving averages are crossed. Next, there is a 1-day mid-compression squeeze, and there is also a squeeze forming up on the 195-minute chart. So how would I like to see this play out? So I'm going to tie this all together real quick. So we have, I'm just put volume right here, like this level of support. And then we have all of those anchored VWAPs basically right here at the daily 21. You may remember 332. That is that level right there. So in the context of the weekly squeeze being bullish, a squeeze building on the daily, if this 195-minute squeeze can start to build up, right? It's going to start going like this, and then it's going to flip to the bull side, right? While it's still in a squeeze. So if this occurs, or if this occurs down here, what I'm going to look for to happen is this level to be broken, right? 332, which will put it up here, which will put it in a squeeze, and look for that squeeze to play out and at least target these highs again. Basically, we'll call it 370. So it's playing a squeeze setup, but we're allowing the volume-based approach to know where support should be. We're using the anchored VWAPs to know if the buyers or sellers are in control. And then we're using the squeeze as a compression of price, looking for that volatility to expand with price in the context of the larger time frame as well. So that being said, and the easiest way to quickly break this down is we have support here. I want this 135-minute squeeze to start firing this way. And by the time this starts to happen, I'm going to look for this daily squeeze to go bullish. And then this weekly squeeze will continue to go higher. But none of this is going to happen unless we get above and hold above 332. Once we get above that level, I do like the target of 370. So mark that on your charts, 332, and look for that squeeze to play out. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you want to see more from me on how I do this type of stuff, I am at Simpler Trading Small Account Mastery. Keep an eye on this. If you end up trading it, let me know. I love to see if this played out and if people actually take action on it. Have a great evening, everyone, and I'll check you out on the next one. Take care.
Without Simpler Trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me